Hello, hello. We are excited to be on today. I am Melissa Ambers, host of Sustainable Growth, and we're on with Chip Baker and a couple of his co-authors for The Impact of Influence. This is volume number 8. We talked with him before, and it was on volume 7, but now he has volume 8 with another, slew of professionals, experts that's a part of this book. Unfortunately, Chip was having some technical difficulties, so we just got him on speaker right now. Hopefully, he can jump on later, but he is on speaker right now. So, Chip, thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate you.
Appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much for having us. Oh, there we
There
go.
we go. We got
We
him.
are we are on. Let's go. Can you hear me on the show? Good.
We can
Yes,
hear
man.
you. We can hear you.
All right, good deal. Well, so good to see everybody. Melissa, first, just thank you so much for always being supportive and being here and allowing us to be on your platform. Been excited to have the opportunity and been looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. So let's do a quick round table. We have David and Adrian on. So, Adrian, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to be a part of this project.
Okay. Okay. Well, again, thank you for the extended invitation. Um, I'm very excited and very blessed to be a part of this podcast today. I'm Adrian Jackson. I've been married for 30 years. My wife and I, Talita, have three wonderful kids, two grandkids. I'm currently vice president of Home Life at Cal Farley's Boys Ranch, that is north of Amarillo. It's a large residential child care facility. I've done that for 27 years. I'm a former college athlete. I'm also a professional bird dog trainer. I've been doing that for about 27 years and competed all over the United States and judge. I currently judge all over the United States also. And so that's the short version of who I am. So uh, we could be here all day on this story. So I'll pass
Okay,
it
now
to Dave. So,
we're gonna move on to David. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to be a part of the project.
Oh man, well first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be able to, hang out with you guys and a little background. My name's Dave. I'm just a regular kid from the southwest side of Houston, Texas. And started off as a DJ in high school and in college and eventually turned that hobby into a hustle and made a lot of money doing weddings here in the city of Houston. And from there was able to, write a couple of books, did some, work in education. I've worked at Radio 1 Houston, which is, if you're from Houston, 97.9 The Box, Magic 102,
yeah,
Praise
yeah.
92.1. So I've had the privilege of working on air, doing some advertising, content creation, and had a whole lot of fun doing it. But I picked up a camera during COVID, and there's a lot of transferable skills from DJing to photography and videography. And once you shoot one celebrity, everybody thinks that you know what you're doing. And I became known here in Houston as the celebrity photographer, just helping out a lot of guys when they come to town and helping them create content. And my most notable accomplishment was meeting Chip Baker. Uh, you know, uh, only second to the birth of my five children, right? So, but yeah, I'm a father of five, and I spend a lot of time chasing around kids and no sleep. So
Yeah. So, Chip, as look, you are well known in Houston. You are becoming a Houston staple.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, we are on volume 8. So, we've talked about, some of your other volumes. We actually
Mhm.
interviewed from 7. Now you're on 8. What made you move to another volume, and what is so important about this next volume?
I think moving on to another volume is just I think there's so many, you know, I'm a big positive person, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big connection person. I'm a big person that, you know, loves to see my people win, right? I love to connect great people to connect people and see them do great things. And so for me, man, I'm continuing to be blessed in my life to come across some amazing people, right? And so, you know, my goal is to just honor them, you know, and strive to help them get their messages out to more people. And really, that's what it's about to me. It's not about Chip Baker. It's bigger than me, right? And so I think the organic thing that happens when you do that is you know, you collaborate, and you and I know this because we've done this multiple times, you know, Melissa. You know, it allows you to collaborate with great people. It allows you to be able to learn and grow uh in an amazing way, you know, because you connected to people that's doing dope stuff, right? um and then in this one, it's just, you know, powerful influencers sharing stories of people that have influenced them in their life and allowed them to become who they are, what they learn from it, and then how they're using it uh, to make a positive impact on our world.
So with this making a positive impact, I know that you, like you say, you're a connector and you meet different
Yeah,
people all over Houston and outside of Houston. When you decide to select the group of people for this volume, what were you really looking for to say? David is the person or Adrian is the
yeah,
person. What was
yeah.
those things?
I think the big thing for me is when you, I don't know, it's a feel thing for me,
Mm,
right? You know, there's not a certain criteria. Oh, they have to be this. They have to have done this. It's this. No, it's not that. Like for me, I think it's about, you know, just good people, good-hearted people
mhm,
going above and beyond to be a blessing to others. And so, you know, when I come across people that's like that, you know, you see their light, right? You
yeah.
see the impact that they make on others. You see the response of how people respond when they talk to them when you're in their presence, right? Just like little things like that, you see the impact that they make on a day-to-day basis. And
Mhm.
they're not saying, hey, I do this, look at me, you know, it's
Yeah.
about me, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't, none of the people in the books do that, right? Like they don't want huge acclaim. They just want to do what they can do to help others and be a positive difference. So I think, man, just huge hearted people doing great things to be a blessing. And where I'm from, you know,
Mhm.
I'll just put it like this. You know, people used to say, man, he good people, right? And so,
Yeah.
you know, for me, like every one of the authors, the powerful people, man, they good people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Wow. So, David, let me start with you. When Chip approached you about this volume, I'm sure you've heard about the previous volumes, have your copies. What made you decide I'm gonna be a part of this project?
I mean, it was really simple. It was, I had already worked with Chip a lot in the past. He's been on my show, and I've had the privilege of interviewing him, and then just being around him. He even invited me to his hometown. I got a chance to meet people. You know how it is. Like some folks, they're good, on Instagram, or they're good in their professional environment. But when you bring them to your hometown and you start meeting people that knew Chip when he was younger, and they still say he's cool, that's when you know he's a good guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything he's done with excellence. Everything that he's done has always been to lift others up and to make those
Mhm.
around him better. And so when he approached me, he could have asked me to go sell shoes in a third world country, and I would have been like, yeah, whatever, man, let's do it. So it didn't matter if it was volume 8 or if it was running across the street to go pick up some sugar. I would have been like, Chip, whatever you need, bro, I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, and
Same question for you, A.
I'm gonna just tell you, Dave ain't just saying that. Like he mean that.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I've seen, man, and people don't have to say yes to you, and I'm truly grateful for that, to have people to have my back like that. So I want to make sure I say that. But back to you, brother
You know, and
Adrian.
Yeah.
not only that, I'm gonna shut up after this. But Chip has a proven track record, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he's never let me down. Anytime I've ever said yes to Chip on any type of project, it's always turned out phenomenal. So he has a phenomenal track record, and you have no choice but to trust people like that.
Wow. Adrian, same
Well,
question for you.
during COVID, everybody's doing a podcast, everybody's posting videos, and everybody's watching them like me. And so I come across some of Chip videos, and man, it was phenomenal stuff. And then as time goes, I see where he is having a book signing in Amarillo. It was on Facebook. So I had typed in the comments, man, I wish I could go. I had some work responsibilities and I couldn't go. And then I noticed in the thread, my circle of friends is all like, hey, man, that's Chip. Wish you can go out there and support Chip. And so he was connected to my tight group of friends already, right? And so I started asking them, hey, how y'all know Chip? Like, I've been following him on social media. And then that led to they had asked me about some baccalaureate speakers. So I said, hey, I've been watching Chip videos. He's vouched by my text group people, and that, so I submitted his name. He graciously accepted and came out to Boys Ranch in May for the baccalaureate speaker. Did an amazing job. We started chopped it up at Buffalo Wild Wings with some of our friends, our acquaintances, and then Monday morning, that was Saturday, Monday morning at 7:30, I'm leaving my kennel, hustling back to work, and I get this text from Chip. Say, hey, man, would you be interested in being one of the authors? Here's the caveat: you got a short time span to get it done, right? So I got home, and I have a lot going on. I had a lot of stuff at work to do. And I told my wife, and she said, hey, you need to do it. You need to do it. And I was like, oh, I only got so many days. I've been struggling writing my own book, staying focused. And Chip did say, hey, man, this process will help you get focused on writing your own book, And so I signed on, and so I would work all day, go to my kennel, train dogs from 5 to 9. And from 9 to 11, I would come work on that chapter. And so I don't know if Chip, you knew that part, but I was burning the midnight hour, And I'm trying to, I'm really complex thinker, so I'm trying to stay true to the topic. And I've never did this before, right? And but I said this, right? The journey of looking back in participating in Volume 8 actually was an amazing experience, whether my chapter was accepted or not, right? If they'd have just, Chip was like, man, you did it. Thank you, but it ain't meeting up to standards, right? I still would have been so appreciative because I got to look back and pay homage to the people that have taught me things. I was able to, really look at like what I learned from my parents, and how supportive they were, my brothers and sisters, and my supervisors. I got married young. My wife and we got married at 19 years old, and we were right in college. I was a college athlete. I was a young parent, and so, man, just kind of looking back and says, wow, like I can't believe a guy from the projects in Lake Charles, Louisiana is at this point, just to even get the request to participate. And so, man, I've been blessed. Like I'm blessed to be in company with Chip and David and the rest of the authors. I'm blessed to be that. Man, I'm just looking forward to where this thing goes, And so, but that's how I got to meet Chip, good old Facebook,
Social media, I call it the digital streets. We get out in the digital streets and do what we got to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, Chip, what is it about Volume 8? If someone was to look at it and say, okay, yes, I have one of your previous, if not all of your volumes, or they've never heard of Chip and the impact of influence. I don't know where they've been, but if they've never heard of it, what would you say to them to say this book is a good read?
I think the beauty of this impact of influence book, as well as any of the books in the series, is typically, when you purchase a book, it's one author, right? One author sharing their stories and their journeys, what they've learned. But in this book, it's 13, right? So it's multiple authors with different backgrounds, different experiences. But like I said earlier, I think the common denominator is huge hearts, huge willingness to give service and help others. I think that's the common denominator in all of the stories and the chapters, but different perspectives, different lifespans, different, like I said, backgrounds, experiences, and just bringing those experiences of what they've learned to be a blessing to others. And so I'm like, as I hear Adrian talk about his journey, I'm continuing to be blown away that I'm blessed and fortunate to be around these amazing people, because a little secret here, I'll tell you a little secret.
Okay.
But yeah, but I'm putting it all together, but I also go back and read and highlight and take notes, so that I learn as well from the authors. And man, it's been really a really cool experience to be able to do that. And so I think that that's what the readers will get from the experience of purchasing this book.
I've interviewed a variety of different people
Yeah.
and some others that have done anthologies as well. And I've never heard anybody say that they go back and read, some of the other authors highlight, and you do it on a continuous basis to keep learning. And
Yeah.
oh, well, right. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know this about, David, or I didn't know this about Adrian,
Yep.
or, whoever, and just go back and look at that. I've never heard anyone say that before. So, that speaks volumes in the impact of influence of why you
Come
keep
on.
going, and, you know, how people are easily attached to you, and you attract, the people that's watching you on social media. So, I want to just say that that's very commendable to hear you say
Thank
that
you.
and to share that about the journey of all these volumes that you've done. And it's not just about dropping a book, dropping a book, dropping a book, dropping a book.
No.
So I think that's very important to share that message. So, real quick, before we move on, we're going to have a quick video that I need to play, as you say, pay some bills. So, we're going to play that and we'll be right back.
What really does matter. The people you associate with and spend time with have a huge impact on who you become and what you do in your life. Hi, my name is Jeff Hagee, and I want to tell you about my Inner Circle Mastermind group. This is a group that's designed to surround you with like-minded high achievers who will help you to think bigger and amplify the performance of your business and your life while tearing down all the barriers that are holding you back. A mastermind is the fastest way to get you to the next level. If you're ready to network and connect with other successful entrepreneurs and influencers, go to coachhagee.com/mastermind.
Do you want to be known as the subject matter expert in your industry? Scan the QR code today to take advantage of the $200 discount for a brand assessment. The assessment will give you a summary of how your brand can step up a notch to get noticed. We have been seen in various platforms and have gained credibility and are known as the subject matter expert for digital media and branding. Sign up today for a brand assessment and a one-on-one consultation with me, Melissa Ambers. Don't get left behind. It's time for your brand to stand out. All right, we are back, and we have a new person that has jumped on. So let's do a quick introduction to let people know who you are and why you decide to be a part of this project.
My name is DeAndre J. Lacey. I'm an international public speaker and author of an Amazon best-selling book, Out of the Ashes: Finding a Purpose in Your Pain. And around the last quarter of 2023, I was not satisfied with where my speaking career and everything outside of my 9 to 5 was going. I did an assessment. I realized I needed to put forth some more effort. One day, I remember on my computer, I'm just typing Houston area podcasters. I'm like, I believe in what I have. Enough people just haven't come across me yet. I need to make myself more discoverable. And I came across Chip. He had a link on his YouTube. I signed up for it. Weeks go by, we get close to the date. I end up traveling unexpectedly, and it's time to do the interview. I'm scrambling to find a place, having kind of some sound and connection issues, but we do the interview, and instantly we knew that we shared the same values. It was a good connection. A few weeks later, he brings me out to a college campus, has me speak at his Impact of Influence speaker series. And then weeks after that, we're either on the phone or he's texting me or something. He's like, "This is what I'm doing." And I think we are on the phone. He was like, "If you want time to think about it," I said, "I don't got to think about it, man. When you know your values, like he says, you're in alignment with your assignment." And he's all modest and stuff, but he has a whole system for this, man. I've learned a lot, just like Adrian said, just being a part of it, having a speaker series that feeds into building a network, and not just saying, "Hey, write this book and do this." Like, he plans events so that people can get to know each other. He does
Yeah.
photo shoots, stuff that's valuable. You could pay a lot, and he's just giving back to people who are giving to him. And so I think that's why he's successful, because he's always looking to give back, and he's just reaping, all the seeds he's planted. And so when you're around a person like that just inspires you, it's a no-brainer.
Wow. So, Chip, tell us a little bit more about the impact of influence. I know you travel, you do a variety of different speaking engagements,
Yeah.
and you are, like you said, that positive person. You're dropping quotes and gems and all of these things all the time, regardless of where you are, who you're speaking with. So, when you're out speaking at these different events, what are some of the things that, you walk away with along with your audience of, you know, I should put this in the next volume, or this helped me by XYZ. What are some of those things that happen during those moments?
I think short answer, and then I'll explain it. I think first off, reps make you better. I
Mm,
think as you grow through the journey of life, um, you develop a keen sense of awareness to things that are in alignment with you, right? And what I mean by that is, like, take for example, like relationships. The good thing about a bad relationship is that you know what you don't want.
yeah.
Right? Like, man, I ain't doing that crap no more. You got me messed
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, no, man. But oh man, I like that. Oh, this is good. When this person
Hmm.
does this, that makes me feel special, right?
Hmm.
So I think to be like, DeAndre was saying, I say to get in alignment with your assignment as we grow through our life, you know, we have to have a heightened sense of awareness to things that make us happy, to things that make us feel fulfilled, to things that allow us to keep pushing, or to those
Hmm.
relationships that we know that, that's mutually beneficial, right? It's not, you don't feel drained. It's great energy when you're around these certain people. And so, like, all of those things that I've explained, that's what it's been for me. Um, being in those environments, like, I love learning. I love meeting people. Um, I love, like, seeing good people connect and do great things together, right? So those are all of the things that I've seen, and I love being in those environments. That's one thing I've learned about myself. It's like I love being around good people, right? Like, I don't like the energy vampires. You're not having that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell people this, my blood type is B positive, Yeah. BE
Okay.
positive.
I,
That's
Yeah.
my
look,
blood type,
I
right?
don't
And
know who all didn't get that, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I try to stay away from the people with the blood type of negative,
Yeah.
right?
You know, you know what,
Yeah.
Chip?
Hey,
Yeah.
come
Right
on.
on.
And that's what it's about, just being in those
Yeah.
positive environments, positive situations, because really it's a choice, and that's what I strive to choose every day, which is evident by the authors of The Impact of Influence, Volume 8, as well as the book series.
Okay, this is for anybody who wants to answer. As you were going through your chapter and you got in that mental space of wherever it was you needed to be to write your chapter, can you share what some of that was? Did you learn something new about yourself,
Good
or
question.
did something just come back that you forgot about and it pushed you through it? What was it like as you were writing your chapter?
Well, I can, if you don't mind, I'll go first.
Sure.
Jump in there.
One is that there were so many people that poured into me that I wanted to mention in this chapter that 2,400 words didn't allow for.
Mm.
And so that was one of the things, is that, like, wow, like I could have wrote the whole 2,400 words, the chapter on my parents,
Mm.
right? I could have wrote the whole chapter on my early coaches. I could have wrote the whole chapter on my early supervisors that really poured into me. I could have wrote 10 chapters on my wife. I could have. So when you add all that up, like, it was like, how do I scale it back? What do I talk about in this chapter that maybe later on I can expand on it later and talk about this other thing? So it's kind of like, how do you break it down and just narrow it down to what you wanted to talk about when it comes from leadership? Because everything that I've learned throughout life, right, what made me a leader. And one of my early supervisors, when I was just I had a lower manager position, and one of my supervisors said to me, he said, "So you're one of the most powerful people on campus." And I just had a little old manager job, and it's like, 'cause people follow you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing about position power. It's about, like, how do you influence people? How you make them feel? And just the other day, there was a gentleman walked up to me at an event. I didn't even remember him. It was almost 20 years ago. He was a young barber. I still had hair, and he said, "Hey man, you stopped, gave me a chance." He was a barber at Walmart, so it wasn't at a barber shop. I was just walking into Walmart. This young black dude standing there. I said, "Hey man, you want to cut my hair?" And he remembered that. He walked up almost 20 years later. Walked up to me and said, "Hey man, you don't know how much I appreciate that." You never know how little things like that, right, has a huge impact. And so, yeah, it was really hard to narrow down to the exact subject that you want to talk about in this book, because of so much that, and that's that thing about being teachable and approachable and respectable, right? When you walk through the things that you wrote in your chapter, when you live that way, then people just reach out to you because you're approachable, right? Mm-hmm. They know that you're going to take what they give you and do something with it, right? And I believe that God put me in this position right here to do for others. He could have made me all kind of other things. He gave me all kind of, he provided me many skills, but this is a position, the one that I never wanted. I never asked for. I never signed up. I didn't go to school for, right?
Yeah.
Simply to help people. So that's my piece. It was a daunting challenge, just trying to narrow down and be to exactly what in this particular chapter that I wanted to talk about and expand on. And with that was motivation to make sure that I write about all the other people at some point in time that have led to this journey, right? To now I got to cover all that. I feel a high sense of responsibility to recover all those bullet points, So That's man, that may have been too long of an answer.
No, you're fine. No, you're good.
Yeah.
David, you want to share about yours?
Yeah, mine was I agree with Adrian. I was like, man, 24 was it 2400 characters was tough trying to squeeze it in.
Yep.
And there's so many people that I could have written about, right? I could have went down the road of talking about my grandmother, or talked about a coach, a teacher, or my pastor. So many different people that have had an impact on my life. But then I went back to some advice that I typically give to organizations and entrepreneurs. When people come to me and say, man, where do you get ideas and inspiration for content? And I always tell people, like, well, what do your customers or what does your audience ask you the most? Like, poll your
Okay.
audience. What do you find yourself always talking about? So I asked myself that question, and people are very inquisitive about my divorce. Like, everybody wanted to know, everybody wanted to know about, how are you still cool with your ex-wife? And so I chose to write about my ex-wife, and her impact on my life, and how influential she has been. We were married for 14 years. We had have five amazing children. And people are astounded at how, even after a divorce, we can maintain such a
Hmm.
great relationship. And it's one that, you hear people say, oh, well, you do it for the kids, or you do this, you do that. And it's not even like we wanted to create a great relationship for the kids. That's just something that we valued. And even when we went through the separation and went through the divorce, we went to all different types of marriage counseling and things like that. And of course, the marriage counselors were astonished as well, because they were trying to get us back together. And we had already come to the conclusion that we were separating. And we said, listen, the marriage is done, but we're still going to counseling because we want to maintain the friendship. We want to maintain a
Hmm.
great relationship um, down the road. So I chose to write about her because in every significant moment in my life, from starting a business to becoming a father to my relationship with God, she's been there. And she's had a major role in all of those moments. So before and even after the divorce.
DeAndre?
I chose to write about a peer of mine that I met in high school. Well, I met him a few years before that, but unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He passed away the first week of this year, and that really had me shook because it's like, how do you, um, how is it that you make it into the first week? The first week, in your mind, it's like, oh, I made it to 2024, but it just lets you see the brevity of life. And I was a big Kobe Bryant fan, and I remember when someone called me and told me when he died, I got mad at him because I'm like, all these celebrity hoax things, man, he ain't died, man. I really got mad until I said CBS, Fox, like all these places, oh, this is real. And 41 years, that's 10 years older than I am now. It just puts life into, perspective. And so this person encouraged me. At the time, they were making Christian rap music. I was a shy, insecure, couldn't speak, all of these different things, and they were encouraging me to get on stage with them. And I was like, no, no, I can't do that. That ain't me. I'm not confident enough. Somehow they convinced me, and the microphones having some issues, music having some issues. So I just started talking to fill the time. And at the time, I thought the gift was music. But one of the things I say is we confuse the manifestation of our gifts with our actual gift.
Hmm.
Music was one medium that I could use my gift. Podcasting is one medium. And
Yeah.
sometimes when that one medium for that season gets taken away from us, we get discouraged because we never realized what the gift was. TD Jake says your gift is hard to recognize. You're the last person to see it because it's such a natural part of you. It doesn't seem amazing to you. You've always been able to do it. But other people outside of you can see something you can't see because none of us have ever seen ourselves. We see in a reflection of ourselves in the camera right now, but we can't see what we actually look like. A mirror is the best closest thing we can get to it. And so mine is called One Mic, a reference to the Nas song, because that one time I had that one mic changed my life. And we're one person away, one thought away, one belief away, one yes away, one connection away. And so when he died, it just, that was on my mind. And when this came about, it just put it on my mind, the influence. And we weren't just extremely close. Like once that season of our life passed, we would see each other in passing. It's not like I even talked to him every day. But that encouragement during that season and that one opportunity was such a catalyst for so many things. And that's why what Chip does is so powerful, connecting people, creating this platform and constantly doing things, like he said, to bring people together. You're always, a fire starts with one small spark, and he's continuing to be that spark with the impact of influence.
Wow. Thank you all so much for coming on. And Chip, thank you again for putting out another volume. So if you had to describe this series in one word, what would that word be?
I would go with powerful. I mean, you heard the stories that they told about the reason why they wrote, and man, the word powerful comes to mind or to heart for me.
Thank you all so much for joining us and sharing your stories about the impact of influence. And Chip, I'm going to let you end it with these 3 words that you say all the time.
All right, y'all.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Go get it.
Us on our Instagram at Savvy Mag Biz and on our YouTube channel, Savvy the Business Podcast. Thank you for joining us on Savvy the Business Podcast. If you want to be a guest, send an email to media@savvymag.biz. That's media@savvymag.biz. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be heard by millions.